Ready to take the next step? No matter your financial need, Goppert Financial Bank is your local lending solution. From refinancing or purchasing your new home, to growing your small business, to taking your farming operation to the next level, we will take that next step with you. Stop by or visit us online at goppertfb.com to learn more.
Hi, this is Connie Whitlock, and I'm here with Jesse Schumann of Epic Plumbing. Everybody knows you around here because you kind of make your rounds downtown. Everybody loves talking to you. And you buy people coffee. Cheers.
I do.
Cheers. Yep.
Cheers.
Ching. So you're going to be our first interview of the year.
Awesome.
Welcome to 2022, everybody. So, oh, goodness, where do we even start? You're married?
I'm married. 3 kids, 120, 117, and 110.
Okay.
So I'm
done with the single digits.
Full disclosure, I'm really bad at math. So
so I hope you have all of those right.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Now, I said math, not birthdays.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
barely.
Okay. Okay. Birthdays. Do you remember birthdays?
Barely.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Okay. So how long have you lived in Pleasant Hill?
We've been Pleasant Hill residents for about 6 years now.
Okay, 6 years. Like it?
Yeah, I actually love it here.
You grew up in Kingsville, though.
I grew up in Kingsville. Moved around as soon as I was able to. I moved out of Kingsville and went to Independence. Then
what
to Raymore.
was Kingsville like when you were a kid?
Oh man, we had to find things to do.
Yeah.
And that meant that we got in trouble.
You cruised the 58? What?
Oh, yeah. We cruised the fast stop parking lot.
Yeah, exactly. When I was a kid, it was Santa Fe because I grew up in Olathe, so we cruised the Fe. At least we had a cool way to say it.
Yeah, we had to drive to Independence to Nolan Road to cruise if we really wanted to cruise.
Seriously?
Yeah, but
you're
nobody
a small
cruises
town dude
anymore.
And you're out in Independence cruising Nolan?
Listen, I knew where to go.
Oh, okay.
To cruise.
To cruise, yeah.
Of course.
So tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I've been plumbing now for, I don't know, roughly 22 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, pretty close. Getting there. And I have, I started my own business about 6 years ago. Epic Plumbing.
And you have grown it.
Yeah.
To the point where you have a building in Pleasant Hill on 7 Highway, which is really cool on the inside.
Thank you.
And I love the Coke machine that you have.
Yeah.
Did you get any bottles for it yet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I want to see that.
It's
I want
loaded.
to see that.
A little bit of soda, a little bit of beer.
Or do you make everybody pay to
You know what? I still make them use the quarter function.
It's a quarter, really?
Yeah, but there's a stack of quarters on top of it. So it's not like you have to, we can't swipe your debit card on this one. But it's just really, it was more about the fun and kind of nostalgia of.
I was gonna say you like nostalgia.
I do.
Because he was trying to take my chair from, I don't know if that's from the 1800s or at least the turn of the century or something.
I love old things.
Yeah.
Like, I volunteered to take that. From you.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna steal it. But yeah, I like old things, and partly to do with the building and why it's designed the way it is, because I wanted to stick with the old kind of concept.
What was it? What did it used to be?
It's been everything. It's been a gas station. It's been a small grocery store.
What's the address?
1013.
1013 on 7 Highway. And it used to be a grocery store?
Oh, yeah.
No
when
way.
It was first built, it was kind of a little co-op gas station, filling station.
Okay.
Full service.
Convenience store, maybe more.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was a lawnmower repair shop. They did chainsaw work. Then it was a mechanic shop.
I think I remember that, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
probably.
Not. Okay.
It was that way. It was a lawnmower repair shop when I was a young kid. So.
Okay. So you like plumbing?
You know what? I love plumbing.
What's the most interesting job you've ever done?
Oh, I don't know if it's interesting, but I've climbed into septic tanks. Of course, we empty them, okay? But yeah, a used septic tank, pump it out and climb in there and repair things.
Do you have to wear special gear for that?
Oh,
I mean, like the rubber
it's
boots.
technically probably a confined space entry.
I mean, isn't that
you need
toxic?
Ventilation.
I mean, you could die.
Could you? I don't know. I've done a lot of things in my life that could have killed me. So
yeah. What is the most dangerous thing you've done?
Geez, I don't know. I've gotten to work in almost every building in downtown Kansas City, which is
that's dangerous.
In some cases, when you're elevated, when you have to wear harnesses, or if you're in, again, some confined space equipment, to make sure you're getting proper ventilation down in the hole. Of course, I've done sewer repair work where we're down in trenches.
That's the next question, because we just had an accident in Green Valley that I think it took his life.
Oh, it did.
Yeah. So you know about that story?
Yeah, it's incredibly sad when that happens, because there are ways around that.
What happened?
The trench collapsed on him because they didn't have proper shoring equipment.
What do you do? Do you
So there's a couple of different ways that when you're digging a sewer, first they're in a new construction aspect of things. So there's a lot of backfill, a lot of loose dirt to begin with, no major, it's compacted, but it's still soft. It's still very movable.
Right. Gotcha.
So they're digging a trench, and if it's within a certain footage, you have to use a ladder to get in and out of the hole. If there's no way, so there are a couple of different ways of benching or shoring. You basically stair step the trench so that it widens it, so that if it caves in, it doesn't cave in and crush you. And that's what happens. The dirt caves in. And
do you think they just get in a hurry?
Yes, but honestly, it's really hard to sell a job and then justify to a customer that this could really happen, and what the expense of being safe is. That's where it comes in, the factor in the costs of it to be safe.
that means the plumbers are going to just have to be sticklers about it.
They really are.
No, this is what it's going to take, and I am not going to risk the lives of my crew.
Yes. And ultimately what that's done for me is I cherry pick a lot of them. I know guys that dig sewers and work in sewers that are 10 to 13 to 15 to 20 foot deep. I'm not going to touch it. I just don't want to. So that's what it's going to turn into. Also, you're going to have guys that specifically will go out and do those jobs.
They don't want the liability.
No, right. And then guys like me that don't want the liability.
Right.
And want to make sure that I have this obligation to my employees and their families to get them home safe, I feel like. So
yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So I hear through the grapevine that you're running for the Board of Education.
Yes, I am.
So tell me why. Because you have this big plumbing business to run and in a family. So why the BOE?
I think change happens on the local level more than, I don't think much happens up on the federal level. And to be honest with you, maybe it seems insignificant to some people, but to me, it all starts in the schools and bringing our children up the right way. And the Board of Education, they can make changes for our kids. And
what are your top 3 concerns? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe in more length. I hope I can portray it well, but I really want to push for the trades programs because I am a tradesman.
Because you're a tradesman.
And I want kids to, growing up as a kid in my generation and prior, everybody wanted you to go to college, and you weren't going to be anything if you didn't go to college.
So you're a fan of Mike Rowe?
Oh yeah, I love that guy.
I bet.
Yeah, Dirty Jobs.
Yeah,
the guy's amazing, and he says such profound things all the time. He
has scholarships for the trades.
He does. Yeah,
I think it was really cool.
And I want to support that in a way, and I had to put my money where my mouth is on it too. We hired one kid to come in after school, so he gets an early release program, and he comes in and works for us for 4 hours a day.
Is that in Pleasant Hill?
It is.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
He's a good kid, and he's done really well. He started off kind of slow, and I was like, maybe he's just nervous, and that's all it was. He was nervous, but he's doing a fantastic job, and I'd honestly hire him full time if he wanted to. But I wanted to give kids a different path other than college. Not that college is a bad path, but everybody needs options.
Right.
And I wanted to create an option.
Well, you don't want to go to college just to go to college. That's my opinion.
Right.
I might be wrong. I always told my children, go for the first 2 years. At least you have that. And then if you want to go back later, at least you're not doing the whole thing.
Right.
They didn't listen to me. One of them listened to me. Which is good. The others went and did trade schools, which was fine, right? Yeah. You got the trade schools.
Right.
But basically, how do you feel like that's not being done in the schools?
Oh, I don't feel like it's not being done necessarily. I just want to support it with every aspect that I can. And if there is dialogue to be made and we can change it or make it better, then let's have that conversation.
Okay. So that's something you just have a heart for.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Another one?
I feel like there are a lot of different types of learners out there. And I feel like the schools are under budget, maybe with how much money they spend on, maybe under budget wasn't the right way of explaining it. They cater to a certain few learning types, I feel like, more so, and ignore the others. Right. And I would love to see something done to help kids learn to their style. Where budget came into mind was maybe the resources that they allow to teach those other learning habits.
I homeschooled for a while, so I studied all of those to classes, and I use that for my employees too. Your learning styles, I use that to communicate and teach. I'm just not the best at it, but I did kind of research and studied it and read some really good books on it. What's difficult in the public school systems in what I see is that it's such a big machine. Yeah. So you've got this coming in from the federal government, you've got this coming in from the state, then you have all of the bureaucracy in the schools, and it's like a big company. And you'll notice that the big companies, it's harder to get things done because you have middle management and you have to pipeline through all that management. But when you have a new company coming out, they're moving fast and more efficient because they don't have this red tape, right? But the bigger you grow, the more you do need management, but you lose that, you've got a lot of waste. Right?
Well, and that brings up a whole nother topic where this might sound, I don't know if it sounds counterproductive or not, but I really want the parents to have more control and say over what their kids do in school and learn in school and how their tax dollars are used. And as a school board member, I feel like that's something that I can help articulate to the parent or allow another voice to be heard or.
Right. I think that you're right. I mean, about bottom up. Yeah. It starts with the parents and the teachers, and then you got the higher up. Yeah. The problem that I see though is the higher ups have pretty much shackled the bottom. Yeah. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. You have to teach this. And it's like they have this book where every day I have to do this. I have to do this.
And that's a lot to do with
there's not a lot of flexibility.
Yeah. And that's a lot to do with that bureaucracy, like you mentioned. They have a lot of rules that they're having to follow. And that's frustrating.
The regulations.
Especially when you get federal money involved, then there's, you have
25 years ago, we were a model school. Think about that. We were going, and that's why I put my kids in the public school.
I would even say it was more recent than that. I would say.
Well, that was for me because I started my kids like 25 years ago or something like that. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. 20 years ago. Yeah. I'm older than you.
Well, I would also like to say, I don't.
And we've had some good leaders. I'm not saying that we haven't had good leaders. I just think that there's so many cooks in the kitchen,
I agree with that. Another reason I really am passionate about running is I feel like the school system as a whole kind of failed me. One, because of my learning style. Two, because, and this happens a lot. I'm just not woe is me, but I came from a broken home. Like, I don't feel like that was something they should have had to necessarily deal with, but you know what they did? They had to, because I was there and I was a product of it. And, I just want other options out there for kids.
So are you talking high school or all the way through? Really all the way through.
Yeah. So my mom remarried into high school, and actually when I was in 6th grade was my first, my stepdad came along, and of course things got better, but there were still issues, and I was a problematic kid anyway, and teachers didn't know how to deal with me, you know? But that was a little bit to do with my learning style and a little bit to do with my home life. And
I found out that the schools were using the same math method, Saxon, than I was.
Yeah.
Was Saxon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, and they were model schools. So I'm like, well, what am I doing? I'm just reinventing the wheel here.
Geez, I still commend you for being a homeschooling parent. Like that is a ton of work.
It was difficult. And one of the things that was probably the most difficult is that I wasn't in tune with like what was going on with my kids. Like my daughter had an eye problem. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that my oldest son had ADHD and he did have an issue. I put them in school and all of this came to surface. And I'm like, oh, so I was thankful for that. When you're in a community and other people are teaching your kids, that means they see things that you don't.
And you know what? I know it's going to come up. We have one son that's our youngest, our 10-year-old, who's in private school. And now I believe at some point he will go back. COVID did this. There were a lot of changes that we had to make as a family because my wife works part-time. I work a lot outside of the home.
Yeah.
And so it was at the time the best thing for him. But what it did as well, it showed me a different way of how they deal with
Are you being
COVID.
dinged?
I am being dinged. I'm sorry. I thought I put it on pilot mode.
You're being dinged.
Airplane mode. So what it did is gave me the opportunity to see how this private school has dealt with the COVID situation as well.
Okay. So how have they handled it?
They have the kids walk to the door with a mask on.
Okay.
They check their temperature. And if their temperature is good, they take the mask off. They go into school. They still have little partitions at their desk, plexiglass. It doesn't mean they're not free to get up and walk around, which they can. If they're sick, then they go through the quarantine process.
Right. Well, that's what they did in 1918. If you got sick, you weren't allowed to go to school, or if there was somebody sick in your home.
Well, honestly, too, just be a good human and don't send your kid to school sick. But a lot of the time, some parents can't do that, especially a single mom or a single dad.
Get this. I won't say who, but I just know. I know somebody that, they're probably in their mid 50s. Okay. Both were diagnosed last Saturday with COVID and went to the new theater anyway.
Yeah. See, terrible humans. Hope they're not watching.
Yeah. But when I heard that, I was appalled. I was just like, oh my gosh, why would you? But these are people that don't believe it's, they believe it's hype. Right. But it's not. I mean, you're actually, anytime you're sick, you should not be around other people.
It's no different than the flu.
The new theater's a buffet.
Oh, man. Wow.
I'm like,
coming sneezing on your food.
Yeah, exactly. Could you wear a mask at least, right?
I don't think it's any different than the flu. I think COVID's here and it's here to stay, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. It's going to have its moments of flare up, and then it's going to drop back down.
It has been worse in numbers of deaths.
Now, what they've also found out is it doesn't stay on surfaces.
It hasn't been worse numbers in death compared to the flu in 1918, but compared to the flu in recent years, the deaths are higher. So there is concern because it's a pandemic, but I do think that eventually it is going to end up like the flu, that you have.
And I imagine the flu was the exact same way, where it was hot and heavy, and there were a lot of people that probably passed from it. And
right now the hospitals are full.
They are. Yeah, my grandparents both have COVID right now, and they're pretty well through it. It caused some heart palpitations.
Did they have to go to the hospital?
Yeah, they did. They said it was, and they said it was packed in there. But I think a lot of the times what they saw were people that were doing pretty well, but they were just freaking out, and they were there.
We're still losing people. I don't think we're losing them as quickly. I don't think.
Connie, it's out there all the time, and I just have kind of ignored it. I don't think it's not because I don't care. It's just because I don't think it's going away. So I'm just making it a normal part of my life, that, COVID's out there.
Do you guys wear masks when you do plumbing?
Only upon request. So the really great thing and something that really made me successful in the career was, I was my own boss. I mean, sure, I had a boss, but I was in a van. I was in control of my day, how well it went, how badly it went, usually, how to manage my time.
Yeah.
And that's part of the employees' jobs in the field. They they decide how their day is going to go. So
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if a customer requests them wear a mask, then they wear a mask. If not, then they don't.
Pleasant Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, Pleasant Hill, the city of Pleasant Hill is looking forward. There's like, what is going to be happening in the future for Pleasant Hill? What would you like to see?
Oh man. Well, I'd like to see the county taxes drop a little bit, and taxes are really hard on the small business here in Pleasant Hill,
Really?
or in Cass County in general. I think I would love to see more.
Are you talking about personal property?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I noticed it went up from last. I noticed ours.
It seems to go up every year, as far as I'm concerned.
Like, why are we paying so much for this little building? But yeah,
and as far as Pleasant Hill is concerned, I don't know. I used to make fun of my dad as we drove through, down 50 highway, and he's like, I remember when that was a farm field. And, I've gotten to that point. I'm not really a huge fan of progress, but I like things happening.
Seriously?
Really slow. I like things happening
You're
slow.
an infrastructure. Well, that's what you do.
I like things slow and steady,
Mm-hmm.
Now, would I like to see...
What would you like to see, though? Turn lanes,
Jeez.
lights.
I would love a turn lane in front of my office, because it's really difficult to get in and out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
No,
you got that fence there.
I don't know that... I know that the population has risen dramatically over the last 10 years, but I don't know what all we
steady.
need. I'd like to see more restaurants.
Did you know there's a new development going in north of town?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Are you going to be doing some plumbing, hopefully?
No, we don't do any new construction work, honestly. We like to fix the old things. Again, it's something I like old stuff.
In 5 years, you can fix their toilets.
That's right.
Because they're all going to be construction grade,
it'll come around
right?
eventually.
Construction grade.
That's right.
Everything breaks in about 5-10 years.
Yeah,
right?
builder's grade.
Builder's grade. Yeah, there you go. You didn't put that in my bathroom, did you?
No. You have a good Toto Drake toilet. It's top of the line.
I noticed it's comfortable. No,
it is comfortable. Slow closing seat, no slam.
I wanted to share a little bit with our audience and you. I don't know if you have a dog, but we started a little gift shop because we're downtown, right here in Pleasant Hill, and all these merchants are trying to make it. So we're like, well, we're just an office. Mm-hmm. So we decided to kind of open up a little shop, and Henry, our dog, sells wine.
What a good dog.
Yeah. So this one is Chardonnay.
Okay.
Chardonnay. Okay. All right. This one is Zinfandel.
Okay.
Okay, like Zinfandel.
Yeah.
Zinfandel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get it.
Yeah, I think there's like.
So this is really wine?
No, it's fish.
It's shampoo.
Fish. No, it's they drink it.
They drink this stuff?
It's like fish in it and stuff. Yeah, fish oil and
Ew.
Yeah. No, it's good for them. It's really good for them. So, when you have wine with your honey one night, you can have wine for your dog.
Yeah.
So just saying.
My wife puts little bacon bits on their food.
See, you
like
can put
doggy bacon bits.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. It's a little bit of my meat when I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Because he'll just sit there. Ooh,
our dogs are pretty spoiled.
I know you're not supposed to do that, but I do. Yeah. So Henry's spoiled. So then we have these pens. I just want to tell you, and we have every dog breed.
May I?
Yeah, and they're great pens. Hey, look. Yeah, try.
Oh, that's a boxer.
Yeah, try it out.
Cool.
Look at that. It's a nice pen.
Okay. Oh, you got to get the ink flowing.
Yeah, you can't go on the cord here. You just don't know how to write here.
I don't read. I don't write.
There you go. You don't know how to write. Don't know how to read.
This one feels great.
Yeah,
that's a different pen.
Yeah, that's a different pen.
Yeah.
Well, the boxer's probably not as good. So, but that one's really good.
Yorkie? What is that?
I love these pens.
I can't remember.
Schnauzer.
That's what that is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, I'm having fun. So anyway, we have every breed. Okay, and then the most popular are these journals.
Yes.
Do you write?
What was the question? This is a running joke.
So these are the leather journals. Yeah. So this is kind of what we're selling now. And so you can come into the shop. I don't know if your wife likes to journal. So.
She loves to read and write.
Really? There you go. See, they're blank, and you can, do you know what's really cool is you can write down all your ideas in here.
Ideas.
And then you remember them.
I hope I need something. I need a way to remember. Yeah, I have some ideas.
Okay, so new toilets. Yeah.
Right.
No. This is what I think about the BOE. Oh, I'm in it now. Oh, no, I'm kidding. No.
I do. That is the big thing. I want to be on the BOE to help affect change.
I would never want to be on the BOE.
I don't blame you.
I don't think I could. I honestly don't think I say this knowing that I'm never going to run.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm the person to be on the BOE. I could consult the people on the BOE.
Sure.
If you want to come and ask me
I will be.
my
opinion. I'll be here all the time.
You know, I wouldn't want that responsibility. That's a big responsibility. And even the ones that we probably haven't agreed with over the years, kudos to them. Kudos. You stepped up. You know?
Well, so this might come up as well. I was going to run last year, but again, last day to sign up. Okay.
Yeah.
I went in there and threw my name in the hat.
Last day to sign up.
Last year.
Oh, last year.
So I didn't talk to my wife about it.
Oh.
And went home and I was excited and was like, "Hey, guess what I did?" She's like, "So what'd you do?" Yeah, not good. She agreed that. She had to talk me into agreeing.
Especially during COVID, because I know they've gotten so much flack.
They have
during COVID, and then it exposed. I think what happened is all these parents got involved, and then they saw all these other issues they cared about, and then boom, and across the country, I think it was too much. I mean, it was too much for the BOE to deal with all of that at the same time.
What happened though is that it made parents pay attention, and they saw things that were happening. They didn't want their kids missing school. They didn't want their kids being required to wear a mask. They wanted them to have.
Well, then you have CRT, and then
a whole
what else? There was CRT. There was the mask. There was something else.
Oh, Common Core. It happened a couple of years ago.
Common Core. Yeah.
But
no, I know what it was. Yeah. The gender thing, but we won't go into that.
Yeah, that's fine. We don't have to.
Yeah,
it's a hot topic.
We don't want to.
This was supposed to be a softball.
This is interview. A softball interview. Yeah, we don't want to go into that. I don't want to talk about that. So anyway, but that's an issue too, and that's all over the country. Well, that is not just in Pleasant Hill. That is everywhere. So I can say a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So you have all of this just coming down on them at the same time. So I felt for them. I'm a feeler. So I did feel for at the same time, it's like, okay, this is what we've got. Let's deal with it.
I did too. But what this did is I felt for them, but at the same time, this put a lot of attention on them, and it required them to be accountable to the parents.
So
and
maybe
to
it made us
questions. Better. I think so. Yeah, by far. Now, there's a group of parents that go to these school board members that are, actively have been going for the last 6 months to a year. And they're really kind of holding the school board to the coals, to be honest with you. And rightly so. I hope that they see that and they notice that the parents want answers and they do take some accountability or say, hey, how can we change? Where do we change?
So let me take the devil's advocate just for a second.
Yeah.
Just for a second. Okay. So this is kind of what I hear. They're inundated with parents.
Sure.
So how do you, because you can't manage. I have people that complain every once in a while. We do. We're a newspaper. You're going to have that. Whether they're complaining about an article or they're complaining about something that we got wrong or whatever, and we have to make a retraction, which that's newspaper. If I were to be inundated in a week or two with complaints like that by different, 30, 40 people, that's overwhelming. So, and then everybody wants a voice. Sure. And then the thing is like, oh, well, parents need to be heard. Well, okay. So we have 2,200 kids. So for me, I'm thinking a policy in place of how you communicate, a PR person or somebody in place. And I think that might help protect the board members and the superintendent so that they can lock in and say, okay, this is the direction we're going. Otherwise, it is difficult to think that, we're not in high-end politics.
Right.
This is local politics. These people have friends in the community, and I know the feeling of, oh my gosh, that dread of, oh, half the town
Or
doesn't.
passing so and so on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I got her email last week.
Yeah.
I can imagine it's.
So, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I know, so the people that are going to be in the BOE from here on out, where we are actually having these conversations, are probably going to have to be people that understand, or that this is going to be what it is. It just makes it harder because we're a small town.
Well, and honestly,
and these are good people.
Where I was going with that is, over the last year, I was too busy last year. I didn't have any business being there. I wouldn't have been able to fully commit like I feel like I can now. I've been building the business in a way that it doesn't necessarily need me.
Yeah.
Now, I love the business. I will always be a part of it, but I mean, it doesn't need me in day-to-day operation necessarily.
And then how can we have conversations about things without things being so...
Oh, that's the climate right now, isn't it? Though I mean, people are angry.
I hate
people
to say
are
the
wound
cliche. I hate to say the cliche is like, why can't we all get along? But
I don't think it'll ever happen. There's too many passions on both sides.
Yeah, but we still have to be a community. We still have to, have some grace for each other because we all have to live in the town. So I'm really hoping that in the future that. I don't know.
Everybody is responsible for taking a step back in their passions. And everybody is, I mean, you find those people that don't take that responsibility very seriously, but then you find people that do. And there's always going to be that really loud person that has this, voice that carries more than another. And I'll be honest with you, Connie, I think I'm really good at compromising with people. I don't think that I am, but I don't always think that compromise is the answer necessarily, but it needs to be utilized. Yeah. We need to be able to compromise at times.
Other people's worldview, the way they understand things. We might not agree with them, but I just
well too when it's all of our children. I mean, I'm not just talking about my kids. As much as I want to affect change for my kids, I'm dealing with everybody's children at this point. So, you have to listen to their concerns. Yeah. You have to.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how it all plays out.
Yeah.
I think we have quite a few people running.
We do. And some good people too. Some really great people that I'm honored to run with and or against.
I didn't see anybody I particularly wouldn't support if they were
I know one. I'm just kidding.
You?
No, I'm the yeah, me. Yeah.
So, well, this has been great. Yeah, so is there anything else that you have on your mind you'd like to talk about?
I don't know. Bring up a topic.
Bring up a topic, but I think I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it here and have you back because I love talking to you because you're a talker. So I love it. This is fun. You know what? What we need to do is have other people too come into the conversation. Sure. We could have 4 people here, and in the future we can get some more people to talk to. So
and when there's multiple people, I tend to listen more than I talk. To be honest with you.
Oh well, me too. Sometimes.
I love hearing stories. I love hearing people have conversation.
Oh, I know,
dialogue.
right?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I'd like to have everybody that's running for the BOE in and have them share their heart and what their ideas are, and it'll be fun. So,
okay, I look forward to it.
All right.
Love to be a part of it.
This is View from the Hill. I'm Connie Whitlock. This is Jesse Schumann from Epic Plumbing, and until next time.
Thank you, Connie.
You're welcome, Jesse.